Wishes can't wait. That's been our theme as we've talked about this particular Have a Heart Wish-a-thon. Hi, I'm Brett Hall with Mix 106.3, and today is the day for the Have a Heart Wish-a-thon for Make-A-Wish. We've teamed up with our pals at KAIT, and we're doing it here as we do every year, right here on the Jonesboro Radio Group. We're creating life-changing wishes for kids who have had, in Northeast Arkansas, who have had to deal with life-altering issues. And you can help grant wishes just by being a part of it today. You can help us by texting the word wish to 77,000. Just text wish to 77,000, and we'll send you a link right to your phone. You can click on that, and you can make a donation that way. If you'd rather just call our phone number, you can call 870-933-8800 and make a donation that way. When a wish comes true, it is life-changing for the kids that are involved in the fight for their lives, for their family, for their friends, for their community. And it's such a big deal, and it's so very important for us to give out of the abundance that we have and share with members of our community that are fighting life-threatening illnesses, or maybe members of their family are. But we're all in this fight together, and today is the day we make it happen. We've got a special guest with us on this particular call, and he is Christopher Wilson. And we've got Christopher, and we've got Yvette. That's his mom, drinking coffee. Oh no, Yvette, you had a big coffee cup there a second ago. Did you finish that cup already, or what happened? You okay? Now, Yvette, we're going to expect some words from you here in a minute. Chris, is she normally this quiet? I mean, she's giving me thumb signals and stuff.
No, she usually talks a good amount.
Okay, we'll have her talk a good amount here in just a minute. So let's introduce you guys. Your last name is Wilson, and you live in Blytheville. Do you have brothers or sisters, Chris?
I have a sister and two brothers.
A sister and two brothers. Are they with you in Blytheville, or younger and still living in the house, or what's the status?
My brother lives right in front of me, and then my sister's about 10 miles away. We're all in Blytheville.
He's the baby.
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
Okay, you're the baby. Okay, you don't look like but you look like a football player to me.
He's the biggest, but he's the baby.
Okay. All right, and so we've got your mom, Yvette, back there, and we'll talk to both of you guys throughout the course of this conversation. Chris, let's start with you and your diagnosis. You were involved in a fight against lymphoma. Tell us a little bit about what happened. When did you know that there was something that was wrong? Take us through that and how that went for you.
So it all started maybe, 2017 in June. And I had this weird nagging pain in my chest for a while. And we were talking about it, and she thought it was maybe like heartburn. And I still have never had heartburn to this day or anything like that. So we waited a few months. I didn't really have any symptoms at all. I ended up going to the doctor. They got a chest x-ray. I thought it was like bronchitis or pneumonia. And they just saw all these masses like throughout my chest. And, you go to the doctor, you don't feel that bad. Then you have tumors in your body. It's kind of scary. But it kind of went from there.
Okay. And this was back in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So how old were you at the time that you were dealing with all this?
I was 16 at the time in June.
Okay. So are you 20 now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is scary. And if you're anything like me, I get annoyed when I get a headache. I don't like to feel anything less than 100%. And so to be in your head and in your body and to get that sort of news is horrible. And I'm so sorry that you had to deal with that. Let me ask Yvette. Yvette, you're a mom. He's your youngest. You've already raised a couple of kids that are older than he is. Mm-hmm. Tell me what's going on with you when all this is happening.
Well, because when his symptoms, you're thinking bronchitis, and that's what they told us, bronchitis.
Yeah.
And dealing with 3 other children with fever and other things like that. You just don't think anything like that for sure. So
sure.
I know when they said the word masses, that's I almost just, Chris had to hold me up. He literally had to hold me up. Yeah. So yeah, it was, it was really scary at the moment. It was very scary.
How long a period of time was it from you saying, "Oh, we may need to take you to the doctor and figure out if this is something more than just heartburn," and the diagnosis that you received about masses? How was that? A few months or?
No, not a few months.
Yeah,
Because with children,
I actually had. I'm not trying to sound anything bad to you at all. She kept downplaying it, and it actually was for a while, like almost like right after, probably January of 2017 is when I had that pain, and she just kind of downplayed it because you never think it's gonna be the worst case scenario, like one of the
You're right.
things,
You're right.
Yeah. And
he's dealt with a lot of allergies.
Yeah, and stuff
where
like
my
that.
other three has never had allergies. So he's always dealt with a lot of different sickness and symptoms as a child compared to the other three. So when he was dealing with a lot of this, because before he was diagnosed, his allergy symptoms actually went from bad to worse. And that was a telltale sign, but of course, I didn't know that.
Right.
So that's one reason it was really confusing at first.
Right.
And I kind of like had to really push her to take me to the doctor. I don't know. I never get anxious or anything like that, but I was very, very anxious about having to go. Like
Yes,
I knew before that they called me the next day after the results came that something really bad was going on.
Yeah. Yeah. You're living in your body. You can tell that something's wrong.
Right.
But I understand what you're saying about you don't really ever think of it in terms of the worst case scenario. That's just something that you hear that happens to other people. You don't think about it happening to you. And I was thinking about, I'm a parent too, and I've got two boys, and it's a conversation that I've had with my wife. It's a parenting style choice to a certain extent. When your kid is in quicksand, you can't jump down into the quicksand and say, "Oh my gosh, how are we going to get out of this?" You do have to stay strong. Mm-hmm. And Yvette, I've not had to go through what you had to go through dealing with a child diagnosed with this disease, and so I mean I had to deal with stuff like a car wreck, where there was a fender bender or something, or something silly like that, or one of my kids swallowed a nickel when he was a baby. I mean, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
they're doing all that too.
yeah. So you're getting all that plus all this other stuff. So
it doesn't make it any better that because her father actually passed away from cancer.
I was going to ask that question. Does it run in the family? Is it something that other people have had to deal with?
So
no, it was a different cancer.
His was cirrhosis of the liver, and then mine, it's actually from. You ever heard of mono?
I have.
So the Epstein-Barr virus, which causes mono ABV, can mutate in the body and cause this cancer.
Wow.
It's just really, very, really like low chances.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that was several years ago. What's going on with you? And your wish is fantastic, and I'm so excited to talk with you about it. By the way, this is Chris and Yvette Wilson from Blytheville, a part of the Have a Heart Wishathon today with KAIT and the Jonesboro Radio Group. How are you doing these days? Are you in remission, or how are you feeling?
Don't get sick at all anymore. I haven't been sick in a long time, ever since my diagnosis. Yeah, I used to get sick all the time, which is weird before.
Yeah.
But now I don't, like, at all. I haven't had to miss any work or anything like that.
Great. What's the, in the same way that you got a diagnosis a few years ago, is there information that you've received that's official? You're feeling good, but what are they telling you? What are your physicians telling you?
I go in for CT scans. I was going every 3 months, and I was doing good. And I also have to get a EKG because the chemo kind of affects the heart, pretty poorly.
Sure.
So, I had to get a lot of EKGs, but everything's coming out good. And my next scheduled CT scan is actually in August
of this year. Okay. So you have to do those how often? About every few months?
It was every 3 months, but with COVID going on and all that, they've kind of had to space it out. You have kids there that have very low
right.
So.
And where do you go to have these? Do you have to go to Little Rock or Memphis?
I go to St. Jude in Memphis.
In Memphis, okay. A lot of great things to say about St. Jude, I know.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. So Tell it now. Of course, one of the things that we're doing today, the thing that is driving this is the opportunity to raise money for kids so that they can take their mind off of the life-threatening illness that they're dealing with, and they can have a wish granted. So before we talk about your fantastic trip and all the fun that you had on your trip, how did you come across Make-A-Wish in the first place? Was there a contact that somebody in your family had, or were you approached by somebody at school or church, or how did that happen?
So everyone that is a patient with St. Jude, like, it's not usually people get the misconception that you're on your last leg, you might not have much longer to live.
Right.
But when they contact you, most people at first take it as a bad sign, but they give every child there a wish automatically.
Okay.
So they kind of put us in the right direction. And then I got with Make-A-Wish personally, and they came actually to my house, and they just sat down and talked with us, and just asked what we wanted to do, anything we wanted.
Did you have to think about it? Your wish was very specific, and it was specific for a reason in particular. You wanted to go to New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been. I've seen some pictures on social media of your family having fun in New Zealand. Why did you? Well, let me ask you, first of all, was it a hard thing? Did you have to think about it for a while, or did you know from the very beginning, I get this opportunity, I'm going to New Zealand and everybody's going with me? How did you make that decision?
Well, I based it on, she wanted me to meet someone famous. She wanted me to meet Paul McCartney. I love the Beatles.
Oh, okay. I'm a huge Beatle fan. That would be so cool. Was Paul McCartney in New Zealand by any chance?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
But the logic I used was, I could be going to New York City or LA maybe one time in the future. I could literally bump into him. And there's no really going to New Zealand your whole life. You may not ever go out of the country again.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pandemic going on. So
I had a friend of mine in high school. We were talking about it a while, like where we would go. And he brought up New Zealand. And I kind of just remember that, like, it's like the most peaceful country in the world.
Now, what do you mean by that? Peaceful how?
They have, I think they had like 30 something like violent crimes in the whole year of the whole country.
How big is the country? Do you know off the top of your head the population?
I don't know the exact how big it is, but you can get from the North and South Island in one day.
Okay.
Okay. It's about 14 hours, 15 hours.
Okay. Gotcha.
And a big fan of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And so that's where they filmed the movies there.
And there's no predators there at all. Like, none. There's no snakes. They have a couple spiders, but mostly it's just like a bird. Just a lot of birds.
That's so cool. What's the weather like?
It was hot the first day, but it was probably around 98 high 80s while we were there. But see, right now it's summer for them over there.
Yes.
It's summer right now? Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's why we chose to go in January.
Okay. So that was when you went. You went a year ago, January in 2020.
Right.
Okay. So all right, I'm gonna talk to your mom for a second. Okay, so he says, Mom, here's what I'm thinking, New Zealand. What was your reaction to that?
New Zealand, really? Because just thinking about the plane for that many hours.
How long is that flight?
17 hours and like 40 something minutes. So it was almost 18 hours.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so I didn't mean to interrupt you. So you're on a long plane flight and you're thinking, oh gosh, that sounds like fun. But then, so how did you have to, and how long was the trip?
10 days.
Okay. So 10 days in New Zealand.
Yes.
Okay.
10 days because they had to allow let's see, our today is there yesterday, or did I say it backwards, Christopher?
How do I put it like this? We left on the last day. We left at 12 p.m. Sunday, and we got back at 9 a.m. the same day.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
So they had to allow for that and for the travel. So we were actually in New Zealand 8 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah,
Yes.
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did everybody in the family go?
The immediate family, everyone went except for my oldest brother.
Okay.
Yeah, so 3 out of my 4 children went.
Okay, cool.
So Chris
Cool.
had an older brother and his sister went with us. So in our group, it was 4 of us.
Okay.
Mhm.
Were they excited about the trip, or
Oh,
did they
yes.
were they like, why are we going to New Zealand? Why can't we go to
No,
They
Florida?
researched a lot
No,
before
they
they went.
researched and they were like,
Oh, well, does New Zealand do the thing where they say this is where the Lord of the Rings was filmed? I mean, was there any sort of film history or information that you could get just by going to that country?
not the way that you're describing it,
Okay.
but there is a tour, a bus, but it's not like a bus like you're thinking. It's massive.
Okay.
Very big and comfortable.
We went on a boat ride, and we actually saw. It was like one of the big battle scenes while we were on the boat ride. It was like I don't know if it was Mount Doom, but it was something like that, like
Wow.
one of the villain spots. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
And we also got to see an area where they filmed some of the King Kong.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And just that area alone was amazing. I mean, it's undescribable. It really is. You have to see it. And they put us on the boat would be described more like a huge yacht.
Okay.
And
Wow.
huge, like waterfalls like you would see in a jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we saw Milford Sound. It's considered one of the
Yeah.
8 wonders of the world.
Yes, considered one of
Really?
the 8 wonders of the world. Yes, it's beautiful, breathtaking. It's amazing. It really is.
We're talking with Chris and Yvette Wilson from Blytheville about their Make-A-Wish trip to New Zealand. So you're there, and it's amazing. And then you it was amazing from the ground, and you thought, you know what would make this cool? Let's get up in a plane and go up a bunch of feet and then jump out. But you had to go skydiving in New Zealand. That's crazy to me. That seems scary to me, not fun and enjoyable.
I was pretty nervous like a couple months before we went.
Yeah.
I kept having to hype myself up to go. But
Yeah.
once you're like, suited up and there's no going back, I guess. You're in the plane. You got to get out somehow.
Whew.
Yeah, before
was-
we left the
what-
country, he said he would not skydive. He said,
Yeah.
all of you can do it, but I will not skydive.
Yeah, that would be how I would feel. So you're standing in the door of the plane. Did you do it where like is there a guy on your back?
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
So-
Yes.
Okay.
You have to. If you're not a professional,
Yeah.
you have to do that.
Oh my gosh. So you're standing there in the doorway of the plane and they just say, all right, you ready? Go. And you jump out. How does that feel to jump out of a plane?
So what's really funny is I was second to go. So my brother went before me. And it's kind of weird looking because you don't necessarily jump out. You kind of like bend your legs under the belly of the plane and you just kind of lean out.
Yeah.
But when he leaned out of it, it just looked like he got sucked out. Like just it looked weird. And then it was my turn, but I don't know. It's really emotional, actually.
Yes.
It was really, really emotional to skydive.
Why was that? Just because it's so beautiful, or it's so?
There's so many different emotions. You got adrenaline. You got the scenery. I can't believe I'm doing this. Like all of that at once, and it just kind of hits you.
Did you pass out? I was always afraid I would go unconscious on the way down.
No, I never passed out.
When your
And
adrenaline's flowing so much.
You can breathe. A lot of people
Yes.
ask if you can breathe when you're falling like that. If you turn your head to the side, you
Yeah.
can't breathe. But if you're just looking down, you can.
Really?
Yeah.
So you jumped out. We were talking before we actually started this call. You jumped out from 15,000 feet.
Mhm.
So how long when you're flying through the air like that before they fire the chute off?
I think it's 1:30.
A minute 30.
But it feels like way, way longer than that.
Oh gosh.
Ours were videoed. Each one of us has a video.
Yeah.
And all of our family and friends says it just seems like it just goes on and on forever when they're watching it.
Wow.
I mean, they got to see that much of the land as well as we did.
Wow.
And for me, it was easier because I'm only 5 feet tall. And so, Christopher, you see how tall he is. So we were all making jokes. We were just excited to see who was going to be attached to Christopher.
Yeah.
And I'll just say the person was my size
Yeah, they had to get someone small to balance it out.
to counter weight.
Gotcha.
And then, of course, the man that I'm with is even taller than Christopher.
Oh gosh. And so you jumped out of the plane too. Did you experience the same emotions that Chris did?
Yes.
Yvette?
Yes. I've always wanted to do it, actually.
Oh my gosh. You people who say you've always wanted to jump out of a plane, that's just weird to me. I've always wanted to stay in a plane. I've never wanted to jump out. I've never.
It's really beautiful. And And now that the what was that thing that you did? The bungee. What the bungee thing that they did when they jumped off from the platform?
Yeah.
Even the skydivers said that what they did is more scarier.
Yeah.
If you can imagine,
It was.
it is.
Yeah.
Why? Why is?
Yeah, a lot of skydivers won't do this, the bungee jumping. That
Yeah, they won't even do what they did.
Why? Why is it scarier to them?
If you see it, you wouldn't ask why.
Okay.
I think it's because you can actually see the rocks on the ground. Like when you're in a plane, it kind of doesn't look like you're really. It looks like you're high up, but you can't see that you're coming into the earth really.
Yeah.
But when you're close like that,
Yeah.
they like lean over the edge. I don't know. It's something.
It's different.
It's
yeah,
a lot
it is.
different.
It's a lot different.
Okay, so you did that, Chris, but Yvette, you didn't do the
No,
bungee
they
thing.
had to watch 3 of my children do it, and trust me, my chest. I'm not kidding. It really did. That bothered me more than knowing that we were going to skydive and jump out of the plane. It really did. It bothered
So you
me.
did that. So you did that first. You did that before the skydiving.
Exactly. The
Gosh.
3 of them did, not me. I did the zip line, but not that.
Mm.
The zip line alone was enough.
The adrenaline, like it really is like kind of addictive. Like you want to keep doing more and more stuff. We did crazy stuff every single day while we were there.
Oh my
So-
God.
Yeah, because New Zealand is the capital for anyone who wants to do any kind of
Adrenaline junkie capital.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
The bungee jump was actually invented. It was in New Zealand.
In New Zealand. Gosh, I'm learning so much information from you guys. I've had great vacations before with the family, but your trip tops anything that I've ever done.
Oh, they said that. Make-A-Wish said they've never seen and did one like this one. They said,
Really?
Yes.
Well, and we were talking a few minutes ago. You took the trip in January of last year. That was when COVID was on the other side of the world and was starting to make some inroads in populations over there.
Yes.
And you said you were in a situation where you couldn't quite get out of the country the way you needed to, and you had to go to Australia for a while, and Make-A-Wish was just right there, Johnny on the spot, and they took care of things for you. Talk about what happened there for a quick sec.
I had some issues with my ears.
All the jumping out of a plane you did, right?
Well, it didn't help.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
didn't help. And it went from bad to worse.
Okay.
So the doctor there at the airport, they have a doctor's office there and doctors and nurses there. And as soon as he saw my face, and then as soon as he saw me, he said, ma'am, we cannot put you on another plane. He said, you will have to. And I was thinking 24 hours. I mean, I literally was. I was thinking, okay, they're just going to put us on the next plane.
Right.
No, he said, you'll have to be here for a few days.
Wow.
So that's when they gave me the medicine. They gave me a shot and put me on some really high-powered steroids, neurotics, and all that. And then he said, and I have to see you again in 4 days. He said, and then I'll have to make my decision. And that's when he said, you're going to stay for another 3 days. So it was 7 days total.
So you had to communicate with Make-A-Wish, and then they worked
Yes.
things out for you. They coordinated things, and
Yes.
wow.
Yes, really
Wow.
quickly. Yes,
That's cool. That's
within
cool.
hours. It was. They had to. Yes, it was amazing.
Whole different time zone and everything. Still
Yes,
figure
yes,
it out.
with different time zone. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then
Wow.
with COVID going on, yes, it was amazing.
Wow.
It was.
Your experience with Make-A-Wish was fantastic from start to finish.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
That's great.
The pictures and it just does not do it justice for everything that we did, and it was beautiful. It really was. It was amazing.
Over the course of the last few years, I've had the opportunity to have conversations like this with kids and young adults that have, they've gotten to go to Disneyland and they've gotten to meet, famous people. But this, I feel, I know you feel like you were on 60 Minutes or whatever with all the questions I was giving you, but it just seems so cool what you were able to do. And I'm so happy that you got to go from all of the physical the problems, doctors and diagnosis and scared feelings and apprehension, and to be able to just go and let loose in the adrenaline junkie capital of the world, New Zealand. That's fantastic. That's
Whitewater
fantastic.
rafting too.
Wow. This is like nothing you guys didn't do that was cool while you were in New Zealand.
Yes, because I have to say this about the whitewater rafting.
Yeah.
Just going to the site when they put us in the van, with all of our equipment,
Mm-hmm.
all that. We were actually literally on roads that are considered some of the most dangerous roads in the world.
Wow.
We were so far up, and where you have nothing, no ledge. And that was even pretty cool.
Oh yeah, what's really weird about the roads, which I'm not used to because we live in Arkansas, one of the flat states.
Yeah, you don't have that in Mississippi County, do you?
Yeah, so a lot of the roads, they're two-way, but in some spots you have to let one vehicle go at a time, but you can't see around the corner because it's a mountain.
Yeah.
You kind of have to wing it.
Wow. That sounds awful.
And then driving on the other side and on the other side of the vehicle too.
Yeah.
From day one. And my daughter did an amazing job, Angel.
Wow.
She drove the whole time.
This has been a fascinating conversation, and I'll let you guys go here in just a second. I appreciate you taking time to talk about your experience as a result of your involvement with Make-A-Wish, or I should say Make-A-Wish and their investment in you. What, the point of the whole day today is to raise money so other families, other people, young adults and kids like you, Chris, can experience something that you got to experience. What would you, how did that experience change you? How did it help you fight the fight that you were having to fight when you were battling against lymphoma?
It really gave me something to look forward to. That Make-A-Wish gave me such a great opportunity to really do whatever I wanted. Anything I wanted to do, they were going to do it for me.
Yeah.
And it's really fortunate to think that people would give, money out of their own pockets just to support or an organization just to help people in tough times,
Yeah.
It's another feeling that someone's there to help get your back whenever you feel like you're against the wall. You know what I mean?
Yes. And that's why we do what we do every year. Hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of the last couple of decades. People in Northeast Arkansas and just all around this section of the country just reach deep down and come up with money. Yvette, your involvement with this as a mom, this engagement and investment that you received from the Make-A-Wish group, it's really meant the world to you as well, I would imagine.
Yes, because Chris, because he went through a lot, and all the children that go through any of this go through a lot, and physically, mentally. And so when Make-A-Wish is able to be there and grant their wish, it's I can't even put it into words what it means to that child and to that family. That's for sure.
Yeah, we're making wishes come true.
That's right.
And like Disneyland, like whenever I was interacting with some kids that were doing the same thing I was doing, I'm almost an adult and I'm seeing a little kid who's doesn't even know what's going on really, but just to be able to go, even just to, like I said, just to Disneyland really does make a difference in how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really can change their mindset and help them really go through what they're going through.
Well, and you used the word hope a minute ago. Just to have something to look forward to, just have a little hope is so crucial.
In a good way.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're doing what we're doing today with the Have a Heart Wish-a-thon. And I want to remind you again that you can text the word wish to 77,000, and then we'll send you a link to your cell where you can donate that way through that link. And then you can also just call 870-933-8800, and someone will answer that phone quickly, and they will help you coordinate a donation to our Have a Heart Wish-a-thon. It's been great talking to both you guys, Chris and Yvette, and it's been a pleasure meeting you in this way. And thank you so much for taking the time to share your story about your fantastic trip to New Zealand. And I'm also, so happy that things are better for you now, Chris, that you're feeling better, that you're not having to fight a daily battle like so many kids that are still wrestling with a life-threatening illness.
Yes.
And what'd you say, Yvette?
We're one of the lucky ones for sure.
You certainly are. And it's been great meeting you guys and great talking with you. And I appreciate your time. Is there anything that we need to say as we finish up? I
just I hope Make-A-Wish is able to keep doing what they're doing, because it is, I believe, mostly donation based, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. That's that. And this is one of the biggest fundraisers that happens for Make-A-Wish in this section of the country. It's huge every year.
Yeah, and it's just knowing that you can help any child do whatever they want to do. It could be one of their last things they could do.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really does make a difference.
It does. Yvette, did you have anything you wanted to add as we wrap up?
That the same thing that Chris was saying. If anybody even donates, that they know for sure that they're going to put that smile on that child for sure.
And we've seen the impact of it in your family here today.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and it just there's so many children out there that are not going to be as lucky as Christopher, and so to bring that smile and that hope to them, it's wonderful that Make-A-Wish can be here. So any donations are very much appreciated. That's for sure. Absolutely.
That's why we're doing what we do with a Have a Heart Wish-a-thon for Make-A-Wish with the Jonesboro Radio Group and our partners at KAIT. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
You bet. It's great to talk to you.
Thank you. You too.